As we've seen previously, use cases are what define functional requirements for an information system. A use case is defined as an activity that the system performs, usually in response to a request by a user. So a user has some interest, some goal in mind of what they'd like to accomplish with the system, and a use case is what we name that goal. Identifying use cases is a key step in defining requirements. It's a first step because later on we'll need to define use cases in more detail. And there are two techniques that are used for identifying use cases. One technique is called the user goal technique, and the other technique is called the event decomposition technique. We'll learn about both of these techniques in the text. Once you've identified a use case, it's important to name the use case using verb noun. The user goal technique is the first technique we'll talk about. This is probably the most common technique used in industry. Analysts like it because it's simple and it's very effective at identifying what the goals users have for the system. And that's what we're looking for when we're talking about functional requirements. What do they need to do with the system? What goals do they have in operating the system? The first step is to identify all the potential categories of users who will be operating the system. Each type or category of user might have different needs, different interests. Operational level users have different goals, say, than managerial users. So you go around and interview all these potential end users and ask them to describe specific tasks that the computer can be used to help them with their work. And so you probe further and further into these specific tasks till you understand exactly what goals they have. For example, you'd want them to articulate something like, I need to ship items, with ship items being the verb noun name of use case. Or I need to track a shipment. Track shipment would be the verb and the noun for the use case. I need to create a return might be another goal. And so this is how you can identify use cases by going from different types of users, interviewing them, getting them to articulate what their needs are. Here's an example showing three different types of end users for the RMO system we've been discussing in the text. Potential customers would be one category, marketing managers would be another category, and shipping personnel, yet another category. Each of these potential types of end users would have quite different goals when using the new system. For example, for a potential customer, they might want to search for an item, they might want to fill a shopping cart, they might want to view product ratings and comments. A marketing manager might be responsible for adding and update product information, adding or updating a new promotion, and producing sales history report. Shipping personnel is going to be interested in shipping items, tracking the shipment, and creating an item return. So by thinking about the types of end users and interviewing them separately to try to pinpoint what specific goals they have, this is a very popular way of identifying what are the use cases within the scope of the new system we're discussing.